Movement tech defines games. It's what sets apart beginner players from seasoned veterans. When done right, it becomes a way for advanced players to showcase their skill and dedication, flying past obstacles and reaching speeds that seem impossible to the average player. And since I'm making a game built around speed, I want to add tech that allows the player to do exactly that. For my game, I want to add more layers so the player has extra options for movement. Take Celeste for example. The game in the beginning teaches you how to move, jump, climb, then eventually dash. For the rest of the base game, this is all the player knows, until you start doing the B-sides, where you are taught the game's more advanced tech. But even then, it's not until Farewell, Celeste's very last level, that wave dashing, which is an integral part of the game's movement options, is taught to you. I love the way this is designed because as you progress and learn new techniques, replaying old levels still feels fresh. The new abilities keep the gameplay fun and engaging. So I want to add more movement tech to our funny fella over here. But as easy as it would be to add another move, such as a glide or some weird teleportation ability, I want to add something that doesn't require any other keys to press. This is so the layout of the controls can stay clean. So what do we have to work with? The basic movement keys, A and D, the aiming keys, W and S, also doubles as a slide, the grab key, and boost key. I think adding some kind of special boost would be cool, and currently, the boost does nothing if you don't hold a direction key. It would be cool to add some sort of shield that appears around the player that makes them immune to death. Right now, there are no enemies that attack, so the only real hazard is the spikes. But you know what would be cool? Spike parrying. So let's add it. So this is what I've come up with. Now you can activate the shield that costs a minimal amount of boost power so that when coming into contact with spikes, either adds to your velocity or immediately reverses it. I bet you can think of a bunch of creative ways to use this, and since shields basically nullify the spikes, I can design levels that are accessible to beginners while still giving advanced players the ability to pull off trickier but more rewarding moves. The shield boost is cool, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. But while I was working on it, something felt off when the character falls from a high place. If you ever watch any sort of parkour, you'll notice this, the barrel roll. So now, when the player is falling and moving fast enough, they'll automatically do a roll when they land. While you're in this roll state, you can boost again to perform a roll boost. This isn't like a regular boost, it actually lets you convert all of your vertical momentum into horizontal speed. Of course, this is directional, and you can choose how high you throw yourself by holding up right, right, or down right. Additionally, to incentivize using this move, it only consumes as much boost stamina as the shield. But just having all this tech isn't enough. I need to have levels that enable the player to use movement in satisfying ways. So, I decided to make 10 levels that revolve around the newly added tech. What you are watching right now is me playing through these new levels. They require the use of both the shield and the roll in order to get through. This makes them very difficult, but I'm less concerned about it, as these types of levels would be something akin to Celeste's B-sides or C-sides. Making these levels took a while, the main reason being I had to introduce 2 new mechanics to teach the player, and that is the holograms and viewports. They show exactly the movements the player needs to make in order to get through the levels. Now, not only is it easy for the player to see how to do the advanced tech, but because I hate sleeping, I went back through the old tutorial levels, and where new concepts are taught, I put the hologram guys in. I did this due to some feedback I got on my last video where people thought the tutorial was far too wordy. Which I agree with, as my brain-rotted friends are barely literate.
I'm just not reading properly.
Now most of the tutorial is much cleaner, with only key commands and the hologram showing the player what to do. I also redesigned some of the levels to address the difficulty, as many comments told me that the levels were still far too hard. With the 10 new levels added, there's now a space for players to experiment with the new movement tech. It's also a great opportunity for me to properly test everything and fine-tune the variables as needed. The final thing I want to mention before moving on to the first playtest is the little speed indicator I added. It changes colour depending on how fast the player is going and will only turn pink if the player is fast enough to ledge vault. This solves another problem that people were bringing up, where it was ambiguous if they were moving fast enough to ledge vault.
I'm literally pressing W, so like, why am I not getting any higher?
Now that's done, it's time to move on to some playtesting. First up, Pat. Pat figured out the first level pretty easily, with only a few deaths along the way. The next section, however, he got stuck for quite a while as solving it was a little ambiguous. He was, however, able to complete it and had a satisfying aha sort of moment.
Oh! Ah, okay.
The next section was similar. He had to take some time to figure out the solution, then fine-tune his movements to actually get through it. He got by the next level fairly easily, and moved on to learning the roll boost. Here, I did need to give some hints, as I had not correctly explained how the roll boost worked. He didn't understand how the player's vertical momentum got converted into horizontal momentum. This led to him not jumping high enough in order to get more speed out of the roll boost. The next level teaches one of the most important concepts of the roll boost, which is the boost plus roll combo. Because the roll converts vertical speed to horizontal speed, this means that by double jumping and dashing diagonally into the floor, you gain enough horizontal and vertical momentum to induce a roll. This means that the optimal way to gain speed is not by boosting, but by rolling. Using a regular boost only gets you this much speed. However, using a roll boost gets you this much speed. Pat gets through this level 2 after successfully learning how to do it. The rest of the levels don't teach anything new and just require the use of the newly taught mechanics. He gets through all of these until reaching the final level,
Let's go!
which is by far the most evil level I have ever made.
Oh, you evil fucking bitch ass, bro.
Despite this, after a mountain of deaths, of fun,
You're still fucking sick and twisted. You should die, but yeah, I want to play. Oh, I'm gonna have arthritis in my fucking middle finger from pressing K. Let's start developing.
he does finally manage to get through the last level of the game. W!
Oh,
This is what he thought about the new levels and movement tech.
The extra levels are actually really fun. They're like quite precise, but like still challenging enough whilst being like feasibly doable. If you want it done like for the general player base to do, then it might need a little bit of tweaking to make easier, but as an additional challenge for better players or just more difficult endgame levels, I reckon they're actually really well designed.
From Pat's playthrough and feedback, there isn't too much I want to change right now, besides a few small level tweaks. Pat, however, is very experienced with platformers, so I'm really curious to see how someone with less experience handles these levels. So, for our next playtester, we have Aaron. Aaron starts off fine, getting through the first level, but soon the difference in skill level becomes obvious. He does his best, but I did need to keep giving him hints in order for him to get through the levels. I'll just tell you, because the way that you do it is, if you watch the little hologram fella,
Yeah.
where he does the little forward thing, that's where he's boosting, or in this case shielding. He's essentially comboing 4 shields together to get that moment. Yes, like that. Using the advanced tech is very difficult, as you need to be comfortable with switching keys very fast in order to pull off these moves.
I feel like I prefer a separate button for the bubble instead of so I don't accidentally input a dash.
So it's understandable that Aaron would struggle with these levels, as he hasn't played as many platformers as Pat. He does manage to get all the way to the 3rd level, however, when this happens.
What just happened? No! What happened?
Oh, did you press Ctrl R? I had forgotten to remove the debug commands, and since the restart game shortcut is Ctrl R while the restart level is just R, he accidentally restarted the entire game. I quickly made a new executable that would start him where he left off, but instead of taking the easy way out, he chose to play through the game and get back to the same point.
Yeah, let's go, baby!
Nice!
Hey, I'm back to where I was.
There you go, you did it in like, what, 1/8 of the time? He did this not once, but twice, after accidentally restarting the game for a second time.
No, fudge!
Ah. I'll send you
Oh,
the
my
way.
palm keeps losing control.
Oh well, it's fine. I'll quickly make you a new one so you don't have to run through the entire thing again.
Let's see how long it takes me now.
This actually gave me a lot of hope for the game. Him choosing to replay it twice over showed that he was really enjoying the mechanics and levels, and getting real satisfaction from playing.
All the way back here again with less attempts.
Oh yeah, that's good. You haven't used the... You're determined?
Oh. Yeah. I don't need.
You don't need handouts, you'll do it yourself.
Yeah. I just hope I don't press control replay again.
Aaron does really well too, managing to get all the way back to level 5 in about 1/10 of the time it took him on his first run, showing how much he improved.
Hey, I'm back to where I was before.
But as Aaron kept making his way through the next few levels, he started to get pretty frustrated.
There are buttons on this game. Too many buttons. For my feeble mind.
After so many deaths, by the time he reached level 8, I could tell he was starting to tweak out a little bit.
The world is never ending. Kill me. Kill me.
Did you give up?
I cannot see the light. Every time I wake up, isn't back where I am.
Until eventually, this happened.
Alright, I think I'm... At this point, I'm just... I'm at an equilibrium of... Nope. Just anger.
Him quitting is fair enough. In all honesty, I didn't think he would even get this far. So I'm happy he persisted for as long as he did. After these 2 playtests, I made a list of the things that I needed to change. Here's the list. Let's quickly start speedrunning through these. 1. Add something that better explains the roll's vertical to horizontal momentum mechanic. Easy. Done. This is what it looks like. 2. A skill check at the beginning of the level that makes sure any player who wants to attempt these levels is skilled enough. Here's what that level looks like. It's fairly difficult, but it acts as a good skill check for the player. Number 2's done. So on to 3. Fix any bugs that came up in the playtest.
Yeah.
Which you're not supposed to be able to do. Oh, that's new.
Interesting.
What's happening on the right side? Oh, I see. Yeah. Don't worry though, all these bugs are really easy to fix because I found the Fix All Bugs button in my game. 4. Make the hologram respawn on death. This was actually Aaron's idea.
I wish the the hologram will also reset when I reset. When I press restart or when I die, yeah.
Luckily, it was fairly easy to implement this. 5. Make the levels a tiny bit easier. Finally, 6. A part that teaches the player the super jump. This is the section that teaches it. All a super jump is boosting at the correct time in order to get the most amount of height. This is something I sort of just forgot to teach the player and mention. My fault. Anyway. With that last thing completed, I'm finally done for this video. All I really need now is more playtesters. That means you, by the way. I'm talking to you. The more people who play it, the more I can refine the movement system and be confident that the mechanics are satisfying to use. I hope you'll check out the game and enjoyed the video. Oh yeah, also like and subscribe or something, I don't know. Do YouTube things. Alright, goodbye. Also please join the Discord, it's Beyond Dead.